and welcome to the Rumble and Roar podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in, I'm Lenoria, your host, and I have a special guest. I'm too excited. Who is my guest? My guest is Claire.
Yes.
Claire was, I'm not going to give the last name, Claire.
Yes.
And when I tell you, we sit back and we have such fun just, going out and doing things. I said, girl, come on my podcast. Come on and talk to me a little bit. Let me see what you know a little bit about. Look, so we were talking about the other day out to dinner about squatters. Guys, we don't know much about squatters, but what I do know is, I was about to call you Shayna. Claire, squatting, I know that you are, squatting is someone that, let me make sure, a person who is unlawfully occupying a building or an unused land.
Yes.
They are there and they're not supposed to be there.
Correct.
Okay, so, guys, I don't even know where to start. I'm going to try and be as nice as I can about this because I'm just not sure. I was about to say Shayna again. Girl, how can they make a mistake and be a squatter? That's my big answer. My big question. How can you make a mistake and be a squatter? You go and you sign papers, and because some of these people, this is what I hear, Cleo. Some of these people, they will go and they will just try to go into somebody's house if somebody's out of town or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's understandable. But some of them, they actually do go through doing paperwork and stuff.
Yes. They
do paperwork and how is that possible? How can they do paperwork and you know that somebody else's name is on that house and then those people go in there? I know you might not know. I'm not even expecting you to be able to tell me because we are not squatters, first of all.
Right.
So we don't know, but I'm just not understanding this squatter thing. What do you think?
I think squatting is the first step to being, I guess, I wouldn't say the first step to recognizing that you need a place to stay, but I think that when it comes down to being homeless, like when you know that you're like trying to find a place to reside, I believe like squatting is the next thing. It's like a situation where either you were living there and you stopped living there and you want to continue on, you got kicked out, so you're not going to leave. Or in that particular scenario, you just are casing out a place and you know that maybe there's an open house or maybe you've seen a for rent side or you just seen
squatters is not the ones that actually was living there.
They're squat there.
Huh?
You can squat still.
Yeah, I'm saying that they're that second thing you said.
Yes.
When you said they're scoping out to see when somebody leaves.
Yes.
And to go in to their place.
Yes.
But you're not actually squatting. I don't know. Are you really squatting if you actually own the place or you were there and they need you to leave and you wouldn't leave?
Yes.
Not that. Squatters are people that are, like you said, they're looking for you to go on vacation or looking for, and I do get it. And you might be right that they might
living there too long, and then the landlord said, "Hey, you need to get out."
Or not even that. If they saw that, okay, this place has been vacant.
Yes.
And every time I come by here, I done came by here 3 or 4 times, and it's still vacant. Mm-hmm. The thing is, you still don't have the right to be able to go in there.
No.
Squatters, they sit back and they wait for other people to leave. Girl, did you hear on the news where this military man, this military man, he went overseas and he was gone for, when I tell you, Claire, he was gone for, I don't know how many months, but what I do know is that when he got back to the States, I can't even fathom this. He got back to the States and somebody was squatting in his house. This man went through hell and high waters to get into his own place. He could not get into his own place. Can you imagine going on vacation, Claire? I mean, for and if you went on vacation for 2 weeks and you came back and somebody was in your place and they tell you they don't change the locks, they've done everything that they can do, and you're like, wait, hold up, and they won't let you in. It would be stupid to even ask, how do you feel about it? But what do you think about that?
I would be devastated because it happens every day, and just being victimized by that. It happens every day. I mean, and it could happen to anyone. So you could have an Airbnb where someone decided to stay.
Really?
Yes, and you won't be able to get them out. It's a squatter.
Damn, I did not know that.
Yes.
I did not know that. Now that it has to be something different when it's Airbnb, because they know that actually you would have to sign papers and do a lot before you even get in there with those Airbnbs. So they couldn't do it on Airbnbs.
They do it all
but
the time.
they do? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, girl, this don't make no sense. But let me see. Is squatting? I'm asking. Is squatting illegal?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a form of trespassing.
Absolutely.
So why can't you? You know you can't hurt a squatter, right?
Right.
You know that if you came on to your own property and tried to get in, and you knock on the door and they have changed the locks, and you try to get in and you try to get inside and you try to harm them, you can get in trouble for that, right?
You have to go through the judicial system to get them out.
I tell you what, and squatting has a symbol. Did you know that?
No.
Squatting has a symbol. Let's see. What is the squatting symbol? The international symbol for squatting is one. It's a circle with a diagonal lightning bolt through it.
What?
We're gonna show that symbol so everybody can see what a squatter symbol is.
Is that like a Batman symbol?
Girl, but this is this is what I want to know. This is what I want to know. Why is there a symbol for it?
Right. They got a union or something?
And squatters have a tad bit of protection, their rights.
But you know what? That's a lifestyle, man. I don't go into somebody's house and just squat.
But why? But why does why is there a protector law for squatters? I need to know that. Somebody can give me a wrong answer. I don't even care. I just need an answer. Why is there a law to protect someone to come inside of your home to push you out? And who are you protecting? Why are you protecting someone that came in? To me, that's so. What's the difference? You are an intruder. You are breaking the law. You're.
Because now that I think about it, it might be a situation where we did that.
Not me.
Americans, they came here and just
you so serious?
Columbus came and squatted and was like, this here land is my land.
Oh, girl.
You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to divide it and
Oh,
all that.
John, she done went up.
That's probably, probably need to keep those same rights that you had when you came over here, So that's probably a reason why, because, when they first came over here, was somebody already here and they came and squatted.
Yes. Okay. Oh, my gosh.
This is now my land.
Okay.
Right. So they got to have, because if that's the case, we could just kick them out.
Let me see. Okay. Do squatters have the right? Do squatters have the right in the United States? Let's see. It's a adverse process possession. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't really care, and it exists in all 50 states of the United States.
So what is adverse possession?
Right.
So if I've been coming in your yard and using it as a cut through for the last 10 or 15 years, then what ends up happening, and I've just continued to violate your land, after so long, I can go to court and actually ask the judge for permission to go on your land, period. So adverse possession means that I've already been doing it. You haven't really asked me formally to do it, but then now that I'm doing it, I want permanent possession and a prescription to actually do it. And they'll actually go to court and actually do it. Just say, for instance, if you're taking care of someone's land, and then all of a sudden you're like, I've been doing this for the land, then you have the right to actually get adverse possession of the property.
No. It might be right, but I'm saying, no.
Right, it does not sound right at all.
No. Okay,
Yes.
let me see. What is the difference between a squatter and a trespasser? Okay. There are two major differences between squatting and a trespasser. Squatting is usual civil, and it's naturally done. It's natural. While trespassing is criminal. It's a criminal offense. A squatter occupies the property with the intentions of owning it.
Yes.
This is not the case of a trespasser. To me, tomato, guys.
Right.
Squatter, trespasser, it's not yours. It's not yours. So, but see, I'm still trying to understand because there are some people say that this is actually mine. I did the paperwork on this. This is mine. So if it is yours and you did the paperwork, how can your real estate agent allow you to do all of this paperwork knowing that someone else owns that home? How can it even go through? Because when I was getting my home, I know we went through a lot. We went through a lot of paperwork, and you just had to make sure that your T's were crossed and your I's were dotted. So I don't understand. Let me see. Can you, girl, look at this. Can you turn off utilities?
Yes.
When somebody's when
can't?
somebody is squatting in your house, is that crazy?
You can't turn off the utilities?
You can't. Well, okay. Additionally, it says, can you turn off utilities on squatters? Additionally, you could not change the locks, turn off utility, or otherwise try to force the squatters to leave by making property uninhabitable for them. Okay. Just as it is illegal for you to force a tenant to leave your property, it's illegal to use these things on squatters. These things to make them uncomfortable. See, I need you to help me understand this. Please, somebody help me understand. You come into my home. You stole my home from me. It's not yours. I have my utilities on in there. The gas, light, everything is in my name. And I'm not supposed to turn them off. I'm supposed to leave them on for you to live in there. I'm just trying to understand I'm trying not to get the government, but how can they allow this to be okay?
That's just what the law says, and the law is black and white.
Yeah,
it's no middle part of it that makes it make sense. It's just the reason it's going to allow the judge and the courts to actually let that situation play out, because in that situation, there's really nothing you can do. And to me, I think it's about just keeping inventory of your property.
Bam, bam, ding, 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 ding. $1 billion. Let me tell you, you are so right. It says, how many squatters are in the United States? America is now filled with at least 4.4 million squatters, and that's in counting. That's not, you can't just stop and cut the number off because they're doing it every millisecond.
Right.
But what you said, I did read where it did say that, to avoid, let's see, pardon me, to avoid, I read it, I don't see it here, but I will find it. To avoid someone, this is how you can avoid this. Because I often said, okay, so we see how they jump into there,
yes.
Easy and quick. How to avoid it? They said you should put signs in your yard, no trespassing.
Yes.
You should lock all the windows and doors, even though I'm sure that people do that. and they just break those locks and put new locks and stuff on. And then they said that you should monitor your land or your property, you know, go in there periodically and see what's what, to make sure that someone is not like, oh well, nobody's there. You can't just leave it, you know, dormant or leave it wherever for months and months at a time. So you were right. Even though we're not squatters, some things just, you know, you know that it is what it is. Let's see. Like I said, how can you prevent squatters? Like we said, no trespassing signs. Let me see. How to protect Georgians from squatting. The best way, okay, carry out the regular property inspections, like we said. Claire, I really wanted for people to DM us and let us know,
Yes.
what did they think about squatting? How do you feel about it? I just saw on the news, and it was Channel 5, when I say it was a guy on there that said, now this is bold. This is as bold as you can get. They said that the persons that the people that was in their house, they were telling them they need to leave, and they said, how are we supposed to leave on the drop of a dime? We got all our furniture, all our stuff in here, all of this, that, and the third. You know what they the people said in the house? Well, if you just pay us, we'll you know, vacate the premises. That's just straight hustle.
It is.
You want me to pay you to get out of my house?
That's what the banks do.
That's what the who do?
Banks. So when you have a foreclosure, the banks will pay you cash for keys.
See, guys, I got good sense. You can think whatever you like about me. But what I do know is that who pays somebody to get out of their stuff? See, this kind of stuff right here, Claire, this kind of stuff right here will change your life.
It will.
You know why? Because crazy people, because there are a lot of crazy people, mental people. It is seriously real, especially in 23. You roll up in their stuff and think that they are not a bank. They're not going to pay you to get out. They're not going to reason with you. They're not going to go and try and say, hey, could you get out of my home, please? No. What they're going to do is put some gas all around that bad boy and light it up with you in it. And I mean, come on now. I mean, it's not right, but come on now.
People are definitely going to make you uncomfortable.
You can get some come on. Now, you know, I know some crazy people.
I do.
That will be, and those are the nice crazy ones. The real crazy ones will be making those things you see on TV. They're called the bombs, you know, where you put that shirt down into a bottle of gas and throw that bad boy through the window so you and your family can burn up. I don't recommend that for anyone, and I don't hope that ever happened to anyone, but I think that somebody that is really doing all they can to have to buy their home, you know, and then they leave and they come back and they can't get into that home. If you run into the wrong person, they're not going to care about law or anything, you know, and this kind of stuff changes people's lives. So I don't understand why the government is allowing this law that squatters have rights. I mean, to me, that's like, okay, I do have some crazy analogies, but that's just like you giving a person that comes up in your yard with a gun ready to shoot you rights.
Right.
Why do they have rights? They have no right to be even in your yard.
Absolutely.
And then if they came up, I mean, I know that there are different things that have to go on for you to be, you know, not get in trouble for it. But if you shoot them in the back, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but you're still gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna get in trouble. See, things that happen to me, this is just my opinion, it doesn't make it right, guys. Things that happen, and sometimes in America, I love our country, but the things that they let people get away with, this is why they're doing them.
Right.
I mean, you're letting it be okay.
Yeah. we're comfortable as a country pushing the envelope to it's like to a point where it's past stopping point. So to me or whatever, I think that when you're a squatter, it's just the way you live, and that's just, it feels foreign for us because we've never had to live like that. But for other people, that's just the way they live, and that's the hustle in them, and it doesn't make any sense to me because, you know, thank God I never had to be in that situation. But people do it all the time.
Claire, I really don't want to downplay this. I don't. And I want to be sympathetic too. I do, because there are homeless people out there.
And more homeless people now more than any.
Okay, and when they see a vacant building,
absolutely.
Come on now. It's cold as crap outside.
Right. Even in there, it's still cold.
Or it's raining.
Yes.
And they need shelter. They'll go in there.
Or they're,
I get it.
Or drug addicts.
We get that. However, it's the government that is allowing that the squatters for it to be okay. There is a protection.
It's an element of favor even when you're not in favor. So to me, it's like, how can you favor someone that's in the wrong? It's the same thing. Like, you're gonna get a place to live, and that's just, people know what limits and what buttons to push, and they know. And I think that if you have that lifestyle, if you know that's the way you live, if you're going from house to house, what's the difference? Until you get on the street, if that's the option before you just sleep in your car, then you ride around and you find another place for your family to go, then that's what you do. You create a lifestyle where you're going to actually live somewhere until you make it to the next place.
Right.
And to me, if I can put my children in a home for 30 more days before someone kicks me out,
you would do it too.
You would do it
too.
So they wouldn't be on the street.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't do that now anyway, because with these people losing their jobs, you're going to have to find somewhere to squat.
And with the daggone mortgages are so high. Not mortgages, but the rent.
Yes.
A really good apartment, a really good one, is like, what, 20,000? I mean, 2,000, that's what I meant. 2,000, and it's, who can afford that?
Right.
I mean,
it's under, what you're saying, it's under, for a really good apartment, you can't find a really good apartment under 20,000 a year. Because to me or whatever, you're looking at 2,000 easily to 23 for a one bedroom sometimes in the city. And if you can't make that affordable, these people are going to have to go. And if they have like one more eviction, they might not be able to live anywhere else. And then they go from there to the car. So this is a step before it. And this is also a way for people to profit, because if the banks own them, the banks will give them cash for keys so they can start to.
Well, wait a minute. How can you profit off of this?
Well, to me, if you stand somewhere and say, for instance, it's a foreclosure and they don't know that the owner hasn't come back, but they know someone's there, they'll come by and have one of the representatives stop by and offer you money to leave, because $3,000 is nothing to a bank to give it to you so that you can leave, and so they can go ahead and sell it for $300,000.
Okay, gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
So if you're watching it, casing it, even seeing if it's an open house there, you know that even if there's an open house sitting there and you go live in it and you go and decide that person there, if I was a seller, I would be like, I'll give you $3,000 to leave so I can sell my house and get my equity, because I can't do it if I have a tenant in there.
Well, what's wrong with me, Claire? What's wrong with me? Because I'm not going to pay you anything to get out of my shit.
You would pay them if it's time for you to close.
What do you mean? If I was trying to buy the house?
So if you're trying to sell a house and then there's a tenant in there, but you didn't know it, and they just happened to come in there. If you would be in a tight spot, you might say,
I would be in a terrible spot.
You'd be like, I'll just give her $2,000.
I just can't do that. But I guess I'm sitting over here, guys. I'm not tripping. I'm just telling you how I feel. Like I said, it doesn't make it right. I just can't see myself paying you $2,000 to get you out of my house. So now we're gonna have to rebuild that. No, don't say that.
You can't say that because we think.
No, I was about to say because people are crazy, and to be paying you $2,000 to get out of my house, I would. Let me see. There's another. You can burn them out, and then you can get that house rebuilt, and you can get everything started. But that's not the right way. But
$2,000 is. It's probably not even the legal
So if people had this knowledge, not that we're trying to give them knowledge to do wrong, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Well, now that we're in a recession now, we're going into a recession. We're not officially there. Now that we're tap dancing into a recession, then we know that
we were coming out of it.
No,
We're going in?
Well, for a little bit, I believe. Like right now with the inflation prices, like right now we're in the market itself.
Everything is a mess.
It is. It's a hot mess. So to me, now that they know that, and what happened the last time, people stayed into rental properties for years without the banks even knowing about it, and that's just being careless with the bank money. So when the bank knows that it's going to come back from the inventory, then the bank is supposed to send someone out there, a real estate agent or a property manager, to make sure that it stays empty, and that they finally, because even though you go through the foreclosure judicial process, what happens is that you still have to go through an eviction process after that.
Look at all that work you have to do.
And that costs money. So you still have to go through and you still have to go through. So say for instance, your house is sold on a courthouse step. The very next step for the bank is to evict whatever person, because you're in the property. So then from that point, the mortgage is there. They take possession of the title again, but then now they're gonna actually have to take ownership of the property by actually asking you to remove your belongings. And if you don't, you're gonna actually get evicted, and that's the process of getting the squatters out as well.
Oh my gosh, guys. I know that we probably didn't go over everything you guys wanted us to, but I just wanted to have a conversation about squatters. I really would love to hear what you guys think about squatting. We are not downing squatters. What I know it's not a good thing. We do realize that things do happen and people be in desperate situations, and we don't know why they're squatting, but they do it. And but what we're trying to say is that there is another way that you can do things.
Yes.
You can at least go through different avenues.
Yes.
Without turning someone's life upside down.
Absolutely.
And then when you get into their place and it's not yours,
right,
and you were telling them, get off of my property as if it's yours, and it's not yours, that's not right, guys. That's just not right on any way you look at it. Yeah, you know what? I don't really know anyone who has experienced someone squatting. Do you know anyone who's ever done that, or even a family member, or just somebody that has squatted? I don't know anyone.
Yes, I actually do. We had a rental property in Decatur.
You did?
Yeah, our family did. Our family property was a actual rental property, and we rented it out for about 10 years, and we had someone come in when we were getting ready to sell it. We had someone to actually come in and because we decided that we were going to rent it out, but people came and stayed there, so we had to actually. My mother was the HOA president, and she actually stood up and she was like, this can't happen.
Wait a minute. So the house was vacant for 10 years?
No, we rented it out for about 10 years.
Okay, so was it the same person or different occupants?
So different occupants. So
okay.
In the middle of us renting the property, we found out someone was actually living there.
That wasn't supposed to. Well, of course, a squatter is not.
Yes.
So how did they get in there without y'all knowing?
Just casing the property and just looking to make sure to see.
And y'all didn't check back? Your mom didn't?
Well, we were checking back, but the way we lived in a house where we had land. So you could drive past our house and be behind our house and not even see where the property, you could not see the back of the property. So to me or whatever, these people that are squatters, they're con artists. So they're not trying to be seen. They're not trying to be seen at all. They're trying to keep a low profile. So they're kind of like roaches in the daytime.
Roaches?
Yes, they're like roaches. They move in, and then you have to just try to get them out. You do have to try to make them uncomfortable. But in this sense, you have to make them uncomfortable in the legal way. You have to make sure.
Yeah, but wait. I'm so sorry, guys. I've never had... So... The squatters that were in your mother's or father's, your family home, y'all didn't know that they were there. For how long you didn't know that?
Well, we didn't know because, you kind of see little things that are just misplaced. So it was a property that we were gonna rent or whatever. So when we started seeing like, trash in there or whatever, then because they don't first come in with their whole kit and caboodle, their whole, whatever it is, their blanket, their whatever, you'll see trash in there at first. So you'll see where someone has
So
been
this is
living
on the
there.
inside of the house?
Yes. Yeah, so that person, we're not up 24 hours a day. We go to sleep. So and if you don't live there, that person knows that. So that person might be walking down the street, drifted off on that street, or just know someone that lives on that street. Because more than likely, that's more like, kind of word of mouth. So if you know of a house that's there, you kind of go to it. So we had to go through the legal procedure to do it. And it was difficult, and it was, it's hard because you still have to make the mortgage payment.
So I know this sounds
You
crazy.
still have to make the mortgage payment.
Oh, no, wait.
You have to make the mortgage
Oh,
payment.
no.
You still have to make the mortgage payment.
It's sort of like what I just read, where
Yes.
you can't turn the lights out. You gotta make them. You just gotta make them comfortable.
Yes, so you can't. So just like for instance, you're not gonna give up your whole property over someone squatting in it. You're gonna pay. You're gonna continue to pay those things, and then you're
I just don't understand that. How does the government allow this to happen? If that's the case, a lot of people in this world could go from place to place to place and just push people out.
And that's exactly what you can do. That's actually breaking the matrix.
So wait a minute. So they went into the house. I'm so sorry. I know I'm really just dumbfounded, guys. So if y'all went in there and y'all saw a little couple of things that was displaced or whatever,
Yes.
why didn't y'all say, "Okay, wait a minute, I know daggone well this trash wasn't here"?
We did that.
Okay, so
And then when we figured out somebody was there, we had to go through, because that person at the time was like, we ain't trying to leave. And
they were already there at the
Yeah,
time. Did
so
they have furniture and stuff in there?
No, so they're gonna live like roaches. They're gonna live like roaches. They're gonna come in and live. It doesn't matter if the house is staged. That's one thing, but more than likely, it's like some old stuff that's there. Maybe even an old blanket that's there. They're just trying to. If they're one step away from living on the street, they're already living on the street. So they're just gonna. If you got water on, that's good. If you got a little bit of lights on, that's good. If you got a building and they can put a fire pit in the middle of your, make a fire in the fireplace and keep them warm, then that's fine. They don't care about the lights being off. See, we live in places that are, the lights are on, God bless us, all the things that we have that we're not used to.
That, I mean, and so they were in there with
nothing.
furniture,
No
no nothing, just occupying that place.
That's just living. We
And you could not put them out.
No, not if you want, because here's the thing, you're not gonna throw away your whole property for someone just coming and squatting on it.
You know what? I would be that idiot that does though.
You wouldn't do that because the money would be more.
Yeah, I'm just talking, guys. That just angers me. And I remember watching the news when even the newscasters and the people that were actually talking about it. Who was it? Beth Gavin. I forget her name.
Probably Javita Moore, something. Like
No,
that.
not Javita. Javita dead. She passed.
Yeah.
But no, and it's not even Channel 2. It was 5, and she said that. It was angering them. They were like, "Dang, this is just terrible."
You don't even know that I think the problem is you don't know that there's laws to protect them. If you don't know that there's laws to protect squatters, then you're in the blind, period. But say for instance, if you had a property, and say for instance, if you don't go through deed checks, someone can look and see that you own this property with nothing on it, and they can change your warranty, record it, and now they own your property. And then you can go, and yes, people do it all the time. They do it all the time. So you have to go onto GSCCA and actually go onto the section where you have to put a property alert on your property. So if the deed actually changes hands or anything happens, anything's recorded in your name against your property, then you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. But if that's changed, it'll take you, thousands of dollars to get your property back. And that happens every day. So there's no difference in that squatting and other squatting. The squatters that are there are just taking up residence there. And then you have to go through the proper channel to do it. But it could be a whole lot worse. They could take your title to your property.
That is absurd. Claire, when I tell you I'm not exaggerating. I'm tripping, because that just should not be able to be done.
Right.
You don't work all this time and you don't pay all this money, and then somebody could come in within a couple of days and just sit there, and you got to fight to get your stuff back. They have to change.
Yes.
The laws have to change.
Yes. It starts with their community, so it starts with being, contacting your local politicians to work with them on being knowledgeable about what's going on in the community, because you're going.
Yeah, but still, the government, it don't matter what's going on in the community. If they still, even if they do it, the government is protecting them because there is a law to protect squatters. There should not be a law to protect the squatters.
So you have to change your legislation.
There you go. There you go. Government. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. Anybody else you know that has
I guess even if we don't know anyone, because it's I see it all the time. I'm a paralegal, and I see it all the time, and I see people being upset about the situation happening. But also when you're thinking about things like this, it's just, again, taking inventory of what you own.
Right.
Everything, especially your real property.
Yeah.
Making sure that you employ a real estate agent if you're going to sell it, or a property management company that can help you to actually take care of your property. When you leave it out there, then you do leave it out for people to come and actually victimize your property. If you're actually gone out of town, or say, for instance, if you went to Paris and came back or whatever, you want to make sure you have a family member stop.
You know what? That's another thing. What you just said. How about the stars?
Yeah.
The stars that go on tour for months and months at a time, that be over in London.
Yes.
And I know a squatter couldn't just go squat in their house, and you think they're about to pay all of this money. First of all, this is stupid, guys, because you can't sit in no star's house, especially when it's well, yes, you can, because
they
actually
they pay what they do is they pay a house sitter, a house manager.
Okay, so somebody's there though. So okay, so it's not vacant. Yeah, but I know that there are some people who have summer homes.
Yes, or
that and like it is winter here, and they go south, and they don't be there for the summer, and when it's summer here and it's somebody can just be squatting in their place.
Yes, or just say, for instance, with my dad. My dad, he passed away a couple years ago, and we've had that property, but we don't really know exactly what the plan will be for our property. So we have to make sure we go to the property and make sure no one's living there. So
it's vacant?
It's vacant now, yes. It's been vacant for a while. So
why though? Y'all not gonna sell it?
Well, we're gonna sell it, but when someone passes away, it doesn't stop your life from ticking. It doesn't stop the things that you have going on in your life.
We're not gonna even go there, because I do understand.
Yes.
Time waits for no one.
No, it does not. And when you have a situation where you just did not plan it for that, that family member to pass away, you now have to dispose of it properly. Well, and estates take a while.
Oh my goodness. Well, make sure that you do the things that we read.
Yes.
Put some. I hope you have signs in the yard. No trespassing.
There's a dog in here that'll just tear you up like Cujo.
Oh, it's a dog there?
No, but
you're so silly.
Yeah, like no trespassing. It's a monster in here.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. You're saying put a sign there saying beware of dogs.
Yeah.
Cujo is on the other side.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes if you just have I don't want to say you have fake decors, but you have things that kind of.
But you have to.
Yeah, so you
have a camera right there.
Yeah.
Anything. Okay. I get
so
it.
you can have a camera there.
Well, it's necessary.
Yes, and even if you have a camera on your property, or even those are intricate things that you may think it will not deter people. At least you put people on notice that, hey, no trespassing. Don't come in here. The minute you do that, then you're trespassing, and that's what changes it. It's putting people on notice.
Yeah.
That, hey,
because they can't even lie and say, well, I didn't know. No, yes, you did. There was a sign on the gate, one in the tree, one over there on that flower, one over there on that ant bed, one on the damn roof. You knew you were trespassing.
Exactly. And that's how you're going to protect your property.
Yes.
You see those things and
And then, at this point, I never thought of anyone using cameras, but you have to now put cameras on that bad boy. I would have a damn door, a darn door cam right there, because this is too much. Absolutely. But yes, I did not know, and thank you for sharing that, because I didn't even know that you had someone that you knew,
Yes.
and that was close to home.
Yes.
I don't know anyone.
Well,
who,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm just,
But and I think that when that happens or whatever, it's a really private situation because you're already feeling victimized. When someone squats, and that's like you burglarized my home, you're in my home now, but then now you refuse to leave.
But victimize is definitely the key word, because you are victimized.
You're absolutely victimized. So it's like taking burglary to a step further. You gonna just stay here after you came in my house? Wow. Now I'm gonna have to, and then I'm gonna have to actually take a legal way to get you out of the property now.
Every time you talk and you're saying stuff like that, my brain is
it's a trigger.
No, my brain is just like, oh Father, I really feel bad for anyone who has to go through it, but the anger.
Yes.
Somebody with some real mental issues. What if that man, and I know I'm going lengthy, but I'm gonna cut it short. That man that came from the army, when it served his country,
right,
and came home. What if he had PTSD? Because that's seriously real, guys. It'll take you trigger them. You know, it depends on the level of their PTSD. Right. What if this man had some serious PTSD? He came home, put his key in his daggone doorknob, and it didn't work. And he's like, wait, hold up. And then he finally get in whatever way he got in, and he's got somebody there confronting him. He could have went back to, what if he was actually did some combat? What if he was a war veteran? Who knows? But what if that man had a snap and be like, and just pulled out a M16 with a grenade launcher and blew that man's head off, because it's like, you are the enemy. You're on my ground. This is where I live. I'm not thinking about nothing else. I ain't going to the law. You're not supposed to be here, and I know that. His brain could have just snapped.
Right.
And you would have been dead still going to Whitney Houston concerts and Michael Jackson. Right. And you know, they're dead, so you be there with them. You know, not to make a joke of that, but your ass gonna be, some people are just, you know, and that could have happened.
And to me, whatever, I think that does happen. I think that we just don't see it.
I know.
So to me, whatever, because I think that anytime you go into a situation, like when you find someone's living in your property.
But they said that you can't.
You can't, but that doesn't mean you do. Like,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like, one person break the law don't mean that two wrongs don't make it right, but doesn't mean it has to happen.
But that's what I'm saying. I said that, you know, I just think about myself in the way when you say these things, and I think about it, I'm like, the thoughts that go through my head, I don't even want to share them, because that is just, and I just sympathize. We sympathize, and I'm not gonna keep going over and over. I just sympathize, and if you guys,
we sympathize with the people who have to believe that they have to be squatters, because I think that's a mindset too. Where you don't feel like you can actually get on your feet and get something on your own, and you feel like you have to take something of somebody. That's a mindset too. So I'm just ushering.
Some people are forced to do it. Some people are doing it because they're trifling, and they know that they can get away with it. Some people just know the law, so they do it. So it's many reasons.
It's many reasons. So whatever many reasons you have for that, and whatever mentally you're going on to make you feel like you could take something to somebody else's and just won't leave, we hope that you get help for that, because it's not right.
Right.
And we believe that, and the law is there just to make that balance, so that person doesn't I'm
so sorry. There's no balance, because why is there a balance? There should not be a balance. It should be a law against. Well, you do not squat, and they did say it was illegal, but when it's they do say that you can go with the authorities and get them to try to get them out. But to me, paying you to get out of my place, trying to go down and fight with the police officers, to the sheriff to come in, that's just too much. But okay, well, with that said, I'm glad that you shared that, Claire. That is something. I hope that I never ever have to go through that, or anyone else have to, but we know better than that. Like they said, it's 4 million something people and counting. So we're sure that it's probably even more by now. I pulled this off a couple of days ago, so I know it's probably counting. But just try and get help. That's what and don't do that.
Call your local United 211 services for assistance
to help, just
or
to
for
help.
Your
and don't put people through that kind of stuff. It's just not good. But anyway, with that said, guys, we're gonna leave you, and please let us know if you were don't let us know if you were a squatter. Let us know. Let us know if you know somebody who was just had to go through this, and if they got out of it, and help us to understand, and maybe you have something to tell us what they did to do it in a good way. So with that said, feel the rumble and
listen to the roar, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.